2 years into President Bola Tinubu's administration, the Nigeria Labour Congress has voiced strong discontent, claiming that Nigerians are grappling with heightened suffering and hardship. And according to reports, the NLC argues that the promised economic gains have failed to materialize, leaving citizens burdened by soaring costs and deteriorating living conditions. However, the presidency has maintained that its policies are working and that Nigerians should be patient as they will reap the benefits when the economy is fully recalibrated. So joining me to discuss this is Amaechi Asugwuni, who is the former Deputy President of Nigeria Labour Congress and Industrial and Labour Relations expert. That's who he is. Thank you so much, Amaechi, for coming around.
Thank you, you're welcome.
So the NLC is saying that it has not gained anything under the Tinubu administration. That administration has been in power for 2 years. Is that your own critical assessment of the Bola Tinubu administration?
You know, people give judgment depending on the analysis. No Nigeria will smile to the economy as we speak. And I tell you, the position of Labour represents a very large percentage of Nigerians' view. And it tells you because governance and reflection of stability should be tangible. And if we're living in a country whereby benefit of economy is to be explained to the people, it means it's not visible yet. And government can boast of their policy. But I tell you, in governance, in economic, like Nigeria, you must have short-term, medium, and long-term plan. And if you are telling Nigerians to assess the current administration 2 years in office, we should be looking at the immediate action, which government will quickly tell you that removal of subsidy is a plus. I concur. Yes, it is a plus, but if removal of subsidy has hidden more money in the hand of government, but such money is not reflecting in the life of the people, it means the application is wrong. So one thing is to generate money, another thing is to define a real model of utilizing public funds in such a way that the masses will get the taste. Otherwise, if the cry continue and the economy seems to be explained to be strong, then we are not sensitive. So I believe that part of the strategy to developing Nigeria with Nigerian money is to show costs from infrastructure to economic stability. You need to look at the fiscal policies, and the question is, if government must spend more money to get what? If they must underspend to achieve what? You don't define infrastructure by sentiment. You don't develop by reason of loyalists. Development must be targeted towards improving the welfare of the people. And if we must appreciate infrastructure, the question is, what target is the infrastructure aiming to achieve? Infrastructure should be aiming to help the rural areas access the urban in order to get their products there. Because the problem we have in this country is that we are not producing. And it's a big problem. No country in the world can be prosperous if you are not earning income through your product. Industrialization is the major and the simplest form of job creation. We are not doing that. So I don't know how they define theory to reflect improvement. What we understand is the board of assessment can be viewed by anybody on the street. What was the standard of living 2024, and what are we facing today? What is the rate of dollar as against 2023 today, and even the projection for the entire year? It's still telling you that we are not in charge. Borrowing money is not the threat to me. As a matter of fact, countries that are succeeding are borrowing money. But when you borrow money and you are told not to invest your money in the area that it will become an income to you, that is inimical. That is against yourself. So I believe that government should expound its capacity to the extent that, why do you think the IMF keep giving us money and tell us how to invest the money? Because they believe that you shouldn't know how to make money. You should only learn how to spend. And anybody that teaches his children how to spend and not make money is a dead generation. It's a problem.
Now you're saying that the government's policies are working, but then the government is benefiting more and the people are not benefiting. So what about the 70,000 minimum wage?
Minimum wage of 17,000 almost died on entrance. You talk about, as at the time they started their negotiation, bag of rice was less than 30,000. As at the time they began the negotiation, before they rounded up to offer that salary, bag of rice was almost at 50,000. I use bag of rice as a reference because average family in the world consume rice. And that is a basic source of feeding. Now come to the basic food. Tag them gari, tag them yam, plantain. I was buying plantain myself 2 days ago. 10,000 naira plantain was 10 seed of a very moderate size, 10 size. I said, no wonder. I think my wife prefers I should be doing so myself. But that tells you that the hardship is coming with a threat. That means the poor can no longer eat. Beyond breathing is to eat to live. And I tell you, if we don't do something quick, I want Mr. President to develop template that will be self-explanatory to Nigerians about what the economy is reflecting today. Because I tell you, minimum wage, as far as I'm concerned, died on arrival by virtue of inflation. The purchasing power of minimum wage is zero as we speak. Any family that earns 70,000 naira today can never feed your family. Neither will you pay school fees. Because even though you put your children in public schools, there are basic needs for any child to access before going to school. So minimum wage is not obtainable. And consider it that it is when people earn salary that even the mama put, or call them sellers, hawkers, can actually breathe. So if workers don't have money in their hand, nothing to buy.
Okay, so we're going to talk more about this, but then let's quickly go on our short break. When we return, we'll conclude on this. So the Nigerian Labour Congress has heavily criticized the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying there's more hardship in the land than it was before. But the government has come out to say that there's no going back on its policies and that Nigeria should be patient. And this is where I get to come to my guest this night, Amaechi Asugwuni, who is the former Deputy President, NLC, and of course, industrial and labor relations expert. So the president a few days ago told Nigerians that there is a need for them to be patient and that the country is on a path of progress. So why can't Nigerians wait?
No, the issue of patience has been the mechanism for governance. As a matter of fact, when people give themselves hope, not even president, people give themselves hope, people like us believe that Nigeria will work, even though it doesn't work under the current president, it will work one day. That is a different, it is good to actually be optimistic. But the question is, there are certain evidence that Nigeria want to see that will command trust of the masses. Such is corruption. We have not, this administration has not fought corruption. They've done nothing. As a matter of fact, it has been so decorated to have a pattern called protective corruption. And when you run a country in that order, that people laugh over corrupt practices and they go free. It is making Nigerians to believe that if you are not there, if you don't have any link to those in power, you have no benefit as a human being. And that is a threat to the patience the president is demanding. People have patience when there is hope. People have patience when they see that you are moving to the direction of their desire. Patience don't just work by the command of Mr. President. It works by the activities of the economy, suggesting that indeed, sooner than later, we are going to meet some benefit. Do you know that there are programs you put in place that Nigerians will be helping Nigerians, educating people on why they should wait? Because average Nigeria today needs to survive this economy. When you look at your children, you know that the economy should work. Because not everybody that succeeds now is not a proof that your children will succeed. But if the economy succeeds, it means the future generation will definitely succeed. Why is it that everything works abroad? It works abroad because the system is richer than the people. Nigeria, we have few people that are richer than the country. And they want to keep this money even when they die. Their children cannot access the money. It is better to make Nigeria work It is better to make the economy feed Nigeria because nobody can feed the nation. People are too selfish to bring out their money to industrialize the economy. But Nigerian government can do so. So industrialization is a plus to a growing economy. You can't talk of job creation. You don't make promises. There are things you should not even put on the table as promise. Job creation can only work when there is a place to employ people. There is no magic to creating jobs other than creating an atmosphere that will motivate investors. Our tax system is poor. We are operating a system that suggests that more or less using impulse behavior to initiate projects. So people don't believe you. Outside this country, foreigners don't believe in our policy because they know that there's no continuous target to it. Every government have their plan. A new government will come and jettison this. So how do you rely on it?
You've talked about tax. There's a new tax reform bills that is in place that will soon be fully ratified and implemented. And you talked about industrialization too. And the president just recently commissioned 30 kilometers out of the 750 kilometers of that Lagos to Calabar coastal highway. And that is going to open the corridor for business, for cargo, human and cargo, for business to move from one part of the country to another. Isn't that a work in progress?
I appreciate, Mr. President. The coastal highway is welcome in terms of that is transportation line. The question is, where are they going to? The transport that access people into this country is to come to the country to do what? We don't have problem of people willingness to enter. We have problem of network. Do you know that the political and economic history of Nigeria has made it more difficult for people to rely on our policy? Therefore, when they see you project certain bogus projects, they still laugh at us because the system is nowhere to attract work in. So I support that we need such projects, but let it be target driven. How many Nigerians have the knowledge of what that coastal project or coastal highway or road is coming to do for the country? I tell you, the major problem is how do we address the issue of refineries not working. Nobody's paying attention to it. Rather, we are praying to see how Dangote will reduce price. If one man can own a business that will feed Nigeria, the answer is no. So economy must work when our leaders are committed to fighting corruption and ensuring that the money of the people gets to the people.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Amaechi Asugwuni, former Deputy President of Nigeria Labour Congress, and of course, an industrial and labor relations expert. It was nice talking to you at this time.
Thank you. Okay.
And so that is where we end today's conversation as regards how to move the country forward and what needs to be done, most especially translating the policies of government into something that Nigerians can actually see empirically and benefit from. And we hope that will get there sometime. Of course, sometime. And let's let you know that that's the end of today's show, Politics HQ, that you can actually catch up on all episodes of our programs on YouTube channel and, of course, at News Central Television. That is DSTV 422, GoTV 23, Star Times 274, Avro TV, and YouTube. Until next time, I am Lekon Omabanjo.